Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another session of Season of AI. Today, we have a special guest with us, Anup Gupta. Anup is the Senior Associate Azure Data Engineer at PwC India. He is a three times Azure certified, three times Databricks certified, and Azure Data Engineer, and whatnot. He is a super cool guy. So, he'll be talking about Azure AI Studio today. So, over to you, Anup.
Yeah, so I would like to thank you and also for the opportunity to, and I'm really happy to share my expertise and the knowledge with the audience. So as I start, you guys already know I am Anup Gupta and I have total around 6 years of experience. And from last 4.5, 6 years, I'm working as an Azure data engineer. I work with TCS and where I work with multiple projects. So basically, the skills I have used for Data Factory and basically the Databricks, and also I had chance to done the certification for Azure Data Engineer, and then I completed the Data Engineer associate with the Databricks also. And then I moved to PwC. If you talk about my education background, so I have not done the very fancy and from the tier one college. I just done the BCA and then I came to TCS. And after doing and at the same time I started doing MCA. And after that I came to the PwC, and here I'm working as a senior Azure data engineer associate. So yes, it would be a really interesting session, and I'd just like to say I'll keep it very interactive. So and also basically no matters if you do not have any experience in the data factory or you do not come from ETL background. So it will be very simple, and I'll just make very simple so everyone can easily start and easily do the hands-on. So yeah, we can start the session. Yeah. Shall I start it? I'm just waiting for the confirmation from us.
Yes, yes, you can start.
Okay. So I guess I'm not able to see the audience, right? Only you can see me, probably.
So there is no audience. This is just being recorded.
Okay. Great. So first, I'll go through the data factory site. So, like, if you come to the Microsoft official site, what is the data factory all about? Probably you are going to uh, you, listen the term for the first time, or maybe some guys already working in a ETL, so they are able to relate what is the data factory. But I'll start from the very starting, or from like what is the data factory. So Azure Data Factory came into the picture once the industry got the revoluted into the cloud, and the data factory is something a complete ETL or ELT tool. The moment I say ETL or ELT tool, it's basically extract the data, transform the data, load the data into from one place to another place, or like ELT, like extract, load, and then do the transformation on the top of data. So what basically Microsoft, why we choose the data factory? Let's say in market there are other similar tools are available from the different side, but if you come across the Microsoft, it is very flexible in the costing, and it's very handy, and it's less, and you can say it's very user friendly. And let's say companies are using the Microsoft the product, let's say Excel, Teams, Microsoft Offices, Microsoft Dynamics 365, SharePoint, and all other tools. So if they are going to use the Azure, so it would be like basically a good approach for them, because the connectivity is so easy to integrate the Azure services to other Microsoft things, right? So first I'll explain what is the data factory. So the data factory is, as I already told, it's ELT or ETL tool. It's complete orchestration tool. It means the moment I say orchestration tool, it is basically you can orchestrate your data. Like you can ingest the data, you can transform the data, you can create a workflow, and then you can load the data to the different things, okay, different destination. So if you talk about from the data factory side, you can connect not only the Azure part. Let's say you have Azure SQL, you have Azure thing, you can easily do the setup with the data factory. Let's say you do not using Azure services, you're not using Microsoft services, you are using a different services. Let's say your data is an Oracle cloud, and then you want to move your data to the Microsoft Dynamics 365 or Microsoft storage services. So for that reason also Microsoft gives you 90 plus connectors apart from the Azure, so that you can easily connect with the Microsoft Data Factory, and you can do the transformation, you can do the loading of data, you can move your data, you can copy your data. Okay. So what we need to do, you simply go to the Azure site. So for that reason, you need to type like portal.azure.com. This is this is the very first thing you need to do. You need to type as portal.azure.com, and let's say if you come to this website, if you do not have any Azure accounts, I'll suggest go ahead and create a free Azure account, or you can choose a pay Azure subscription, or let's say you can create also a student account. Just type in a browser free Azure student account. So probably you will get 1 year free services from the Azure side. If you're not a student, if you're not a university student, you are already working professional, just take help from your friends or your or the juniors, so they can have university email, and you can create easily Azure account for 1 year, or you can create 2 months free account, and few services are free for 1 year. So quickly go to this site, and I have already created so many things, so you can see in the recent tab, but for you it will be none. So what you need to do first in this session, what we are going to do, we are going to create one basically a data factory, and basically the storage account, and we are going to set up how we can connect from data factory to the ADLS account, and then probably we can do the transformation, we can load the data and all. I have already created the storage account and the data factory, but I'll show you how you can create. So this page will become, and you can see till this only. After the more services, this will not come. So what you need to do, you need to click on the plus icon, or like from the search box also you can just write a data factory. Okay, you can see the data factory option will come. Just go ahead here. Okay, and you can see I have already created. So for in your case, it will be none if you do not have any account present. So just click on the create button here, and it will take some time, but okay. So you need to choose a subscription. The moment you create your data factory, the moment you create a Azure account, so you will have assigned one subscription. That subscription is automatically going to come here. And also, what is the resource group? So I am just assuming you have like a beginner level of knowledge, or like no. So what is the resource group? So resource group is basically collection of all the resources into one. So this data factory is also a resource, storage account is a resource, VM is a resource. All the instances, you could say it is one particular resource, and we are merging into one group. That's we are assigning one group, and in all that group that resource will be present. That is a resource group. So let's say I do not have any resource group. So what you need to do, you create a new resource group and just assign a unique name. So like I'll just give Azure Dev. Okay, so that I have created a name with that. Okay, and here like instance name. So what you need, you can give, like here you need to give the name of your data factory. Okay, so let's say I am just giving Azure Dev Practical. Okay, you can choose the reason is also basically your data factory resources are going to reside in which region. Okay, so in which region, in the sense you should choose the region nearest to your data present. Let's say you are going to load the data in India, in somewhere in south region, so you should probably choose that region. Okay, but here I am choosing the east US only, I'm not going to change it. And also you can choose the version V2, because as of now only version V2 is available. Earlier it was version V1, but that is not available now. Okay, you can go to the next now. Configuration git later. So what it means, like you want to create a data factory, and also at the same time you want to store the repo and all into the git or the Azure DevOps git. So for that reason you need to configure it, but we will configure it very later. Okay, so if you just unchecked it, so it's asking to create the, it's asking to configure the git repo. Git now only. You can choose the Azure DevOps Git, or you can choose the GitHub, whatever you want, and you need to create a DevOps account and all those things you need to pass it there. But as of now, we are not going to configure it. We can configure the Git later. Okay, just check this up again. Just go to networking. So the networking side, it's asking some filter things. So public endpoint and the private endpoint. So public, maybe you can just pass some the basically the private URL. So for that reason, like through the private network, so you can choose it. But as of now, I'll keep it as it is. Just go to next. You can choose the managed key. Let's say in this case, Microsoft is not handling. So in this case, customer is handling. So there would be key assigned to you. You just click it and you need to pass that key. So I just keep it as it is. Here are the tags. So tags are important in the sense, let's say you have created a data factory for which environment and you want to understand. So let's say for the development, you just choose the env and just assign them, although this is optional. Okay, you just go to next again, and it's going to do the final validation, and if everything is got successful, it is going to say the validation successful, and you can go ahead and click on the create button. The moment is going to create the data factory. So what we are going to do, we are going to create one more resource, that is a storage account for us. So we'll quickly go to the same portal again and we'll follow the same process, and we are going to create a storage account also. So let me go ahead and create a storage account. I hope till this point you are able to understand what is the data factory, what is the use of it, and how you can create the data factory. You can see I got a pop-up, data factory account got created, that is deployment got successful. We go to the portal again, we go to home and just click on the create resource. And from the couple of the services, there are a lot of services, you go and search the storage account. You can see this storage option will come, just choose it, or you can directly search from the search box also. You can see this different type of storage is coming, but we need to choose the first one, storage account. Just go ahead and create it. So go to for this, and again choose the resource group which you have already done for data factory, and just assign the name of it. Okay, it's coming as there's your data storage account is already taken. So let's say what we'll do is store will give, let's say it's coming or not. Okay, so let's say we'll assign 05, or maybe we need to assign some unique number. Okay, it's asking the region Central India, but let's say we need to choose the US East, that because we chosen that earlier. So it's all up to you which was you want to choose it. Okay, and let's say for the performance, so for the low latency and all, so we can choose the premium if you are using in a production environment, but for the development and the lower environment and for our the practical purpose, we can choose the standard. There are different type of the redundancy also. So this I'm not going to explain in very deep, but let's say if you just choose the locally redundant storage, it's going to create one copy of that storage into one region. There will be no different copy of this into different cities. Let's say you are going to create one copy of data in the New Delhi, then only for in the New Delhi region your data will be present. Let's say you are going to create a geo redundant storage, it's going to create a copy of your data within a same country. Okay, not in a different country. Let's say it's going to create a copy of data in the New Delhi, and then it's going to probably create into the Chennai or Bangalore. Okay, and let's say if you're going to create a zone redundant storage, so the basically the zone redundant storage is going to create a 3-4 copies. It's going to take a copy of the geo redundant, that is the New Delhi and the different cities within a country, and one copy of data outside of the country. Let's say one copy in US and the 3-4 copies in a different cities of India. And here it is the geo zone redundant. It's basically going to create the multiple copies from the different country. Let's say it's going to take this three, and also it's going to create copy of your data within a different cities of the United States. You understood? Okay, so for our the practical purpose, I'll choose the locally redundant storage because it will be cost effective. And for the practical purpose, you also choose the same only. You go to next, here we need to go to advanced section. So we'll keep this as it is. Okay, we're not going to change it anything. The most important thing, enable hierarchical namespace. What is this? So the moment you read it, hierarchical namespace completed by data like storage gen to endpoint, enable file and directory semantics, accelerate big data analytics workload, and enable access control list ACLS. Okay, so if you enable the hierarchical namespace, it is basically is going to be ADLS Gen 2, that is Azure Data Lake Services Generation 2. If you do not enable this, it is going to probably only a blob storage. There are very famous question: what is the difference between blob storage and ADLS? So the ADLS is meant for the big data handles for the workload, and it's going to store the data in a hierarchical structure. Okay, got it? If you just talk about the blob storage, so the blob storage is something, it's idle, like you can say a OneDrive or a Google Drive kind of a storage. It's, you can all upload the huge amount of data, but it's not going to store the data in a partitions fashion on in a hierarchical structure. The moment I say hierarchical, so it is basically, you can create a folder and then you can create one more folder inside the folder, but this kind of facility will not see in a blob storage. Maybe if we have time, we can see the differences, but at the time, I'll make it enable. And let's say here is access tire is what is basically, you want to keep the data as hot or cool. So hot is basically is optimized for the frequency access data and everyday user scenario. Let's say you're basically accessing the data so frequently, in that case you can choose the hot as access tire. If not, then you can choose the cool. So the moment I say hot, like it will be very frequent data. Let's say for the production purpose, you choose hot, and the data, let's say you are accessing not very frequent, you can choose the cool access tag. Okay, let's say, and then you click on the next. You can enable public access from all network, enable public access from selected virtual network and IP address. So as of now, I am choosing it, enable public access from all net. Okay, data protection. So these are the things, like whether if you delete the data also from the blob, or so it is going to retain from the for the 7 days, for the next 7 days. So till the 7 days, you can easily recover your data. Okay, these are things are present. You can basically go ahead and check that. So we are creating for blob and container, so it is probably work for the container. There is something called the files here, so that we have not created. So this is giving option you for, like you can increase and decrease the numbers from here. You can go to next button again. So again, it is encryption type is handled by Microsoft, or let's say you are managing by own. So these things you can choose. And enable supports for customer managed key if you're choosing the customer managed key. So let's say you are only going to take support for blob and files, or for all the files. Okay, go to next again. Again, you can assign the tag, so it is for development, production and all. Go to next, and it will do the quick validation, and then it's going to create a storage account. So just go ahead and check the resources which we created. So first we'll go to home, and here after the home we'll go to the resource group. So just click this resource group. So you can see we created a resource group, something called Azure Data Factory. If you go ahead and open it, right, so you can see our data factory is already there, but we'll wait for our storage account also, because it's going to come again. So validation successful. Let's go ahead and create the storage account. Okay, fine. So the moment it's going to create it, so we'll quickly open the data factory and we will walk through what's inside the data factory we have. So moment you click on the data factory, you need to click on the launch studio. You just click it, and a new page will be going to open. Okay, so you can see you have a new page come here. You can see your basically email ID will come, and the default directory also it is going to show you. You can go ahead and change the directory if we have anything present. The moment you can see set up code repository, it means we have not set up Git connectivity or for the repo connectivity. So you can go ahead and set up from here again. Okay. So you can see the home icon. So this is the home. It is going to come on the page itself. This is the pencil icon of author tab. So what it means, you can click on the pencil icon. You can see a lot of services available. Okay. What is the pipeline? You can see the first option is the pipeline. So pipeline is something, it's going to create a basically a pipeline in the day to day or in the data engineering world. You are probably listening the pipeline is a set of activity connected together to execute the whole task. Okay, basically pipeline, you understand, like it's a term engine. And if you see basically a train, so train has engine and a lot of the bogies, so people are inside the bogie from different cities, and they're going to reach to one particular destination or somewhere. So basically pipeline is a set of activities connected together to perform a one task. Okay, so that is the pipeline. So we will see what is the pipeline, how we are going to run it. Go to the next tab, that is the change data capture preview. This is the new feature. You can see it is in the preview mode. It's not live yet in for the production purpose, but for the lower environment and for personally, you can take it. What is the CDC? CDC is basically change data capture. Let's say it's going to speed up the data load. Let's say you have data for ingestion, and at the same time you want to reflect the data in a one particular table. Okay, so this data entry will be going to happen for both the table at the same time, and when the new records is going to come, it's not going to load the whole record. Instead, only it's going to insert the only new record. That is basically change data capture. What is the data set? We are going to see it, what is the data set, but as of now you understand what is the data set. Data set is basically a type of file format which are going to use for the our work. Let's say we have 90 plus connectors, we have just discussed in the data factory. That is the connectors, and that's come in the form of the data set. Let's say you want to use for Amazon RDS or Oracle, you can do Amazon S3, even though outside of Azure also you can see. If you, let's say if you are just easily want to filter, so you just go to Azure and you can see all the data set for Azure services. You can go to the database, you can see the database things are present. You can go to files, so you can see the different basically the files are also there. So in this way you can go ahead and choose that whatever the data set you want. Okay, as of now I'll go to the cancel. And what is the data flow? So if I talk about what is the data flow, just click on the create a data, basically data flow. So before that, I'll come to the this site again. If you go to accelerate data transformation with a code free data flows, what is all about the data transformation? Let's say data transformation, you have data coming in a different file, different uh, data you are going to deal with, but that data, it's not going to load you. I mean, you are not going to load those data into the destination. Probably on the top of that, we're going to do the many you are going to do the transformation. Let's say we're going to remove the duplicates, we are going to handle the null values, we are going to iterate through data for a different operation, we are going to rename those columns, we are going to do the merge query, we are going to particular, you are going to perform analytical window function, all those things. Let's say if you are coming from SQL, so you know like what in SQL you can do, right? So all those things you want to do, but you do not want to write a code. Let's say you're coming from a background where you do not know, you are not much into the programming, but still you want to learn the data engineering. This is the perfect place where you can start analyzing the data, and you can do the sort of transformation, and you can load your data. So probably you, there is a drag and drop features. You just drag and drop and do the transformation, and you just write your data. We'll see in the practical how we can actually do that. So let's come to the data factory again. So here you see the source, right? So so here you can see the lot of things are present. You just click on the basically the plus icon. You can see you can do the join, you can perform the conditional split, exist union, lookup, Derive column is basically very important. All the transformation logic and all those things you are going to write it here. You have select transformation. It is very similar to select query. We have aggregate. We have surrogate key, pivot, windows, rank, and you can see pattern, pass, stringify, filter, sort. All those possible things you can do using the data flows. The only few things you can't do, you cannot handle the real time data, and probably if there is too complex transformation, like 90% transformation you can do without writing the code. We'll quickly go ahead and check whether our storage account is present or not. So you can see our storage account is present, and this is basically a data lake storage. Okay, so we can go ahead and we'll firstly create a container, because the container is mandatory, because this is a Gen 2. So let's say I'll choose Azure Tech. Okay, fine. So we can go ahead and create a container. Okay, so fine. So quickly come to the notepad, and here what are the things we are going to do. So let's say I have a one file. Okay, I have one file, and on those file I'm going to do the set of transformation, and then we are going to load the data. We are going to use ADF only. Okay, we are going to use a ADF only for all those things. Let's say this is the uh, extract and then transform, and then we are going to perform ELT using the data fact. So you understood the requirement, but the business case would be very what exact transformation you want to do, and what is the source and what is the destination. But we will use our resource and we'll try to complete it. So let me go ahead and take one file, so it would be easier and we can really upload those file and do the transformation on the top of that. If you have any doubt, you just write in the comment, or if you are watching live. So it would be really helpful. And in the last of the session, I'll give my LinkedIn access. I mean, LinkedIn URL. So you can probably go ahead and ask the question from me to there. Also, you can just connect with the admin team of the site, and they are going to help you a lot. So we'll go ahead, and what I'll do, I'll take one file from here. Uh, that is the one file, that is the derive.csv. I'm going to take this, okay, and let me go ahead and go to resource, um, go to data lake storage, and let me go to Azure. And here, what I'll do, I'll create. Let's say I create a directory. Also, you can see the directory option at the directory is coming, but in blob it will not come. So if there would be time, I will create a blob and will show whether you can create a directory or not. Let's say the practical thing would be like we have a 3 layer of architecture. So people used to give first layer is a raw or a landing, where your raw file will be present and you do not do any transformation on that particular layer. You can create a folder called the landing. So let me give a small name. So I mean, you create a name in a which has some meaning. Okay, so people will see the landing, they will understood. People will see the raw, they will understood. It's not like that you go ahead and create a name with your name Rahul or ABC, something like that. So it shouldn't be like that. So in the landing, there would be a couple of process. Let's say people used to upload the file manually, or let's say some other teams are going to upload those files through the different activities. So let's say I have uploaded one file, that file which I have, and and also if you want to open this file, so you can go ahead and open it. Okay, so now we can see our file uploaded. Cool. So now let's say we come to a data factory and we need to create a data set. Okay? Data set, we need to choose which file we want to work. Okay. Um, so let's for that we have chosen ALS, right? So we just search for ALS. We just choose the gen. So we have created or not if you do not